Finding your way through frustration. That'll be our topic for today. I'm Dr. Keshia Keith. Let's keep moving and let's keep growing. Let's keep growing through the dry places and doing all the things that are necessary in this life so that we can live a full and productive and flourishing life, because this is the life that we get. And because we get it, it is called the present. So we call it the gift that we have been given every day that we get the opportunity to open our eyes. And today we are talking about finding our ways through frustration. This very morning, I was finding my way through frustration because I was trying to create something and put some products out to make sure that things got in the necessary order, because I'm working on my group for next week. And absolutely the weeks have flown by because July 15th is the start of our very first group session for the interrupted woman. And with that comes some things that need to get done, some things that need to get fixed and cleared up. But in my frustration, I started to really feel overwhelmed and really feel stressed out and really feel like, okay, why in the world am I doing this? Is this really what I'm supposed to be doing? I'm asking myself all the questions, and absolutely you're like, okay, well, why are you asking yourself those questions? You should have this together. Wait a minute. I am still an individual. I'm still a human. I'm still a person. And that means that I experience all the other things regardless of the amount of education I might have, the amount of experience in something I might have, the ability to be able to walk myself through it or tell myself certain things. Those thoughts, those frustrations, all of those emotions still come up. They still exist. That is what makes us real. That is what makes us all human. And for me, that is where I have been this morning, this very morning. I have been frustrated trying to figure out, okay, what in the world is going on? How in the world are things supposed to come about and be? Because I want things to be a certain way, but I know that is where my control comes in. That is where I want to navigate stuff. I want it to look like a certain thing. I want it to be a certain place or at a certain position. That is the me versus me. That is where I am trying to navigate certain things that I don't see, but I'm trying to be able to curtail some things, prevent some things from happening by thinking about that plan A, B, C, and whatever. But how about you? How many of you are a lot of times trying to create the A, B, C, and D because you're like, there's got to be another option. There's got to be a what if. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if I can't get that to work? What if that doesn't work? You are trying to create 50,000 other plans for the plan that you are currently experiencing, currently working on, currently engulfed in. Have your head down trying to get it together, because this is where you know that you need to be able to get those things, put them in place so that you can move on to the next thing that you need to do. But a lot of times that can create frustration, that can create overwhelm, that can cause you to feel like you don't understand. You had a clearer vision, clearer picture. You thought all the pieces were falling together, but sometimes it doesn't look like that. When you really stop to think about the process, really stop to think about where you are, what's going on. So you're probably going, okay, but how do I deal with that? How do I handle that particular frustration? And here is what I say, because this is exactly what I did. In that moment, when my frustration started to get increasingly high, and I felt it because I felt the frustration, I felt the tension in my shoulders, I felt my mind starting to race, I began to just take a moment and stop. I took that moment to stop and sit still so that I could really allow myself to really focus in on what do I need in this moment. In this moment when I'm feeling frustrated, in this moment when I'm feeling like, okay, I'm about to stop doing this because it's not working and the software is not helping me do what I need to do, I began to just sit for a second, and I had to remind myself, but wait, you are trying to do this all in your strength. You are trying to do this all with your knowledge, with your limited ability and expertise in these particular things. You are starting to try to take the wheel and you are trying to navigate this journey. Well, I had to remind myself, I am a passenger along this journey, but who is my captain? And my captain is God. And so I had to take a moment to be able to just stop and be still because I needed to remind myself of whose I am. I needed to remind myself that He is the one that created and made me. And so because God created and made me, I am absolutely not my own. I am moving and flowing and I have my being just because of Him. Because of the fact that He gave me this life to live. Now, He knew before I was born what this life would bring, how I would be, what I would be doing. But I have no clue. And I am walking around with a roadmap that has some A to B in it, some direction in it, but it is not fully developed. It is not fully in the place where I can just see from point A to point B. So in that fact that I cannot see it, it's like I'm walking and I've got my eyes covered because I cannot see certain turns, certain twists, certain things that are not coming into full perspective right now. And sometimes absolutely we don't know what we don't know. So it is me trying to figure out, okay, what do I do next? And if this doesn't work, what do I do over here? How do I tweak this? Instead of all of those things, because they begin to rise up, because I want answers. I want to be able to put it together so I can keep on moving. And in life, we want things to fall into place. We want things to be the way that they need to be so that we can keep it moving. Because this is about moving forward for sure. We want to have that forward progression, but a lot of times we have to take the time to allow ourselves to reset, allow ourselves to get in a rhythm that is going to work best. But it all starts with remembering whose we are. Remembering that God has manufactured us, He has made us, He has designed us. We are His creation, we are His masterpiece. Reminding that because He's the manufacturer, we have to go back to the manufacturer's manual, as I've heard someone say before. And in the manual for me is the Bible, and in that Bible, I have to remind myself that He who has begun a good work in me, He's faithful to complete it. But I have to allow Him to complete it. I cannot put my hands on the wheel and start trying to drive at full speed because He knows where the potholes are on the road. He knows where the speed bumps are in the road and I need to slow down and I need to pace myself a little bit. He knows that I am going to get hungry and I'm going to get thirsty and all these things along this journey. And He knows where all of those refreshing stops are. I don't know. I don't know where they are. I don't know what they will look like. I don't know the outcomes of certain things. I can imagine and I can hope. And I can even do the let me visualize it and see it all working together. What if it doesn't go that way? What if it doesn't go as planned? I still have to remember the manufacturer. And the manufacturer told me to calm down, told me to slow down, told me to pace myself, told me to lean in and remember that in Him I live, I move, and I have my being. And because of that very fact, I am going to allow myself to move in His direction, allowing Him to direct me, allowing Him to move me in the way and at the pace that I need to go. So I stopped and I prayed. I stopped and I put on some worship music because I needed to get back in a space of reminding myself that His peace surpasses all this understanding. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow. The shadows you can't really see sometimes in the shadows. The shadows sometimes aren't even real. But if I keep on focusing in on Him, and not on all this other stuff around me, because this other stuff around me is frustrating because I absolutely felt like I wanted to throw this laptop, through this other monitor, and just get up and go on about my business and do something else. But in that, what would that accomplish? That would not get me to where I need to be. That would not get me to be in a space where I am doing and walking and being and living in purpose and on purpose. Because I would be still frustrated and I would be still avoiding all of the things that are making me frustrated. But it is important that we lean in. We have to lean into some of those frustrations and we have to continue to journey. But in that journey, we are resetting our minds. We are refocusing our minds. We are allowing ourselves to get back recalibrated and remembering whose we are and remembering how we got to this point. And we got to this point through the grace of God, through Him being able to lead, guide, and direct us. From us relinquishing our will and giving it to Him and allowing Him to do the work, do the things that it is that He has designed and He has purposed in our lives. Because it is He who has made us. We have not made ourselves. We have not done the things that got us to this point in any shape, form, or fashion. Now, we might think a lot of times that because we went to school, because we, had these professors, because we took these classes, because we got this training or that training or did all these things, that we have just put all this thing together. But even in having that, we know that sometimes it does not necessarily mean that life will be a particular way or you will be able to do a particular thing. Because it is such that God is navigating certain things and there are certain doors that He absolutely wants to open for us, but He's not opened them yet because we are not in a space where we are ready to walk into those doors. We are not ready to allow ourselves the opportunity to do what it is that He has designed us to do to our fullness. Because He knows and understands that certain things behind that door are going to require some more muscle, gonna require some more perseverance, gonna require some more tenacity, gonna require some more boldness and some more courage. And so this morning I reminded myself that I am bold and I am courageous and I can do all things through Christ, not through me. Because the me wanted to throw all this stuff and just keep it moving in another direction. And just avoid all this altogether, because when it becomes hard, it does not feel good. And this morning, I did not feel good. I did not feel like I was in a space where I really could just keep on going and keep on pressing through it. And then the system started to tell me that it needed to take some minutes to cool down, and recalibrate and refresh. So I needed to let it rest anyway. So that was my cue that even if this system, this technological piece, it needs to reset, I too need to reset. I too need to allow myself to recalibrate. I too need to allow myself to just refocus. Because I am trying to do it, I'm trying to move it, I'm trying to push it in the direction. But when I let go of the wheel and I allow God to do what only He can do, I allow Him to navigate, I allow Him to be the captain of my ship, because He knows the storms that lie ahead of me, and He has provided a way and will provide a way of escape, but I have to lean into it. And that's not easy, because it's frustrating when I know that I want to accomplish something and get something done, but I cannot get that done because why? There are some obstacles or there are some things that I don't understand that are before me that I cannot get around. I cannot go over them. I cannot go under them. I can walk away, but eventually I'm going to have to come back in order to get to that designated place where I'm trying to get with this program. So it means that I've got to walk through. It means that I've got to go through. It means that I've got to grow through what I'm going through, because in the middle of the valley, as I keep walking, it keeps reminding me that I am able, that He is able, that we will walk together and we will journey and we will take these steps necessary to be where it is that we need to be in this moment. And I will not allow fear. I will not allow doubt. I will not allow distraction to get me off course. I will take a pause for the cause, but I will get back on track. I will continue to walk that thing, because remembering that just as we are eating one piece at a time, one spoonful at a time, we are walking this journey one step at a time. And sometimes those steps don't seem like they are stable steps. Sometimes those steps don't seem like they are the steps that we know the path for. But when we don't, we have to stop. We have to reset, and we have to remember the manufacturer, and we have to ask the manufacturer, which is God, to be able to lead, guide, and direct us, to be able to calm us, to be able to help us to not fear, not get frustrated, not allow our emotions to overtake us and overwhelm us. Because emotions are human. Emotions are sometimes necessary, but emotions can also prevent us from getting to where we need to be. So it is finding our way through the frustration, because we can and we will. But because I'm also working on this project, I want you to know that you absolutely, ladies, you are invited to join me. You are invited to join me in the group therapy for the interrupted woman. Because if you want to interrupt what is inside, if you want to take that frustration that's inside, that's building up, and you want to shift it and mold it to where you are able to continue to move forward, continue to move and grow and do and be and flourish along your journey, definitely join us. Join us. And you can go to the website, go to www.interruptyourlife.com, and you will find the information about the groups that we are starting and forming, because we want to see you there. We want to see you grow. We want to see you move and flourish and keep moving forward along this journey, because this life is not always easy. But this life is absolutely worth it and absolutely necessary, because somebody needs you to show up. Even for me, I had to remind myself that this is not even about me. This is about somebody needing to show up, somebody needing to be their best self, and they can't do that until they hear what they need to hear so that they can go do the things that they need to do. And maybe that's for you as well. Somebody else needs to hear it. Somebody else needs to know that they can be encouraged, that they can keep moving forward, that they should not just stop and just clear the table and walk out of here and just say, forget it, I quit. I can't do that. That's frustrating. That's getting on my nerves. They need to know that they too can walk it out. So we have to keep on showing them how you walk it out. And not in the fake way of, okay, I'm always together and whatever. No, I get frustrated, I get tired, I get all of these things, but I still have to know how to pour in, and I have to know how to lean in, and I have to know that I am shifting shoulders with all the heaviness and the weights that I have, and I'm giving it to God, because only He can handle those things. And I will have to relinquish that and let go, so that I can get the blessings that flow in, that come, that are designed for me. But I've got to let go of the frustration, because the frustration would have had me walking out the door and not accomplishing the assignment. And even if I stop right now, the assignment's still going to be lingering out there at some point. And I'm going to have to get back on track and get to where I need to be, so that I can keep going, so that I can keep moving forward as I grow what I go through. Because life is life and life is real, but we have to continue to grow through. We have to find the ways and the tools to be able to keep moving forward. So if by chance something you heard struck you and you said, hey, I think I need to share that with a friend, be sure to do so, because we want to make sure that they keep moving forward as well. And we will continue to walk out this journey. So like our channel, subscribe, share, meet us on social media, because we want to continue to do life with you. Have a most amazing day. And until the next time, have a great one.